Welcome back. It finally happened. It finally happened, and I'm going to be honest. I kind of expected, okay, is there going to be some kind of a challenge here? Is there going to be something that happens to cause this moment to be ruined? And the answer was no. I did celebrate a bit here because it is something that I've talked about for a long time, that I wanted to see Toronto shed that reputation as a team that can't win a big game, a team that can't win a series clinching game. Now, the interesting thing is, I think Tampa Bay outplayed them through a lot of this game. So it's Samsonov versus Vasilevsky. 11 forward, 7D for the Leafs. So Sheldon Keefe, listening to Leafs fans, Hall was on the bench. Or not on the bench, he was watching. They didn't have him in the lineup. Bunting was back in. And Edge, Adam Copeland was there. He said the Leafs would win. So I think Adam Copeland deserves a little bit of credit for this. Anyways, he also said Riley would have a great game, and he did. Nervous energy early in this one. There's a near miss for Paul, and Tampa Bay presses. So it looked like the Bolts came out with the edge there. Kucherov then has a rush chance kicked aside. Shen had a shot through a screen that was held. Things get pushy on a hold by Samsonov. Um, Hagel then had a chance held. Bunting, rush chance, held as well. So both goalies not giving up a lot of rebounds early, aware of how important this game is. And that rush chance for Bunting was after a big save by Samsonov. So both goalies, again, one-upping one another. Shots are 3 apiece at 4 minutes. Bolts press at 4.5 minutes. Hagel has a net feed. That's picked off. The fans call one. The referee does not. And that was the case on both sides in this one. Referees just, as they say, letting them play, which in the internet age is clearly very controversial. So things get pushy on a goal line stand by Samsonov on Stamkos. As again, Samsonov, he had some ghosts of his own from last season that he was trying to exercise, and I think he did pretty well. Colton's then denied on a 2-on-1. There's an ozone penalty for Tampa that sends the Leafs to the power play. Tampa wasn't happy with that call. They cycle. Cole clears it out. There was another clear that followed after that. Then there was a shorthanded Killorn rush that helps to end it. Toronto manages one shot during that power play. The Leafs press with 9 minutes left. Brody's denied. Stamkos had a wraparound chance. That's held. And by wraparound, I mean he went behind the net and then came right back out and tried to get it short side there. I'll wraparound. I'll remember to explain it after. Hedman then fires one wide. The Leafs go back to the power play. Marner to Tavares, near miss. Short-handed Killorn rush. Samsonov holds on that. That power play's killed off, no shots. So did not benefit the Leafs there, and it felt like it switched the momentum back to Tampa Bay. Tavares then fired wide on a buzzer beater. So after the first, it is scoreless. The Sportsnet crew saying that the longer this is scoreless, the more it favors Toronto. And I kept saying, I don't know. This is a series clinching game. Until Toronto has a win, does anything favor Toronto? And I say that in all seriousness, right? Because they were 0 for 11 coming into this one. So early power play for the Bolts in the second period. Sergachev fires one high. Killorn had a shot that was saved. Kucherov then has a net feed that's blocked and cleared. Hagel's denied late. That is killed off, in large part because Samsonov came to play. Shen has a rush chance out of the box. Vasilevsky saves that. And then there was a crossbar for Bunting on a rebound. Cole then has a shot that deflects out. The Bolts press at 4 minutes. Killorn has a blast that's blocked. The Leafs failed to clear it out. So there's a lot of opportunities here for Tampa, but again, it's still scoreless. Riley has a net feed picked off. Giordano has a shot that's blocked. Things get pushed in a hole by Vasilevsky. Kucherov fires one wide on a rebound. The fans call too many men on the ice. The ref does not. I think it's because they didn't play it while there were too many that were on the ice. That's the general rule. You can have 6 guys on the ice, but as long as the guy coming off and the guy coming on, neither of them touch it, they will give you that 6 feet from the bench. So you'll notice the marker changes at this point. The marker changes are frequent now because I'm doing a lot of writing. Anyways, the Leafs press at 8 minutes. Liljegren has a shot that deflects wide. Nylander's denied and close. Marner then has a shot that's blocked. The Bolts rush. Kucherov has a net drive that's held. Colton fires one wide. Nylander to Nyes gets picked off. Nyes had a good game. Doesn't look like a rookie. Liljegren then has a shot that's held with traffic at the net. Matthews backhands one wide. Easy for me to say. And the Leafs get some pressure. And then, on a failed clear, the Leafs end up getting a goal. It was a good press. They had them pinned down a bit. It's wired top shelf by Matthews. Brody with the assist at 13:47. So there's Austin Matthews with a goal in a huge game for Toronto. Absolutely necessary. So Bolts press to respond. Killorn's denied on a turnover chance. The Leafs fail to clear. Bolts draw themselves a power play. So again, we're conditioned now to decide to think, well, this is where things kind of fall apart. And it's just, this is kind of how, and I was feeling this, so I know there has to be Leaf fans that were feeling this too. Colton fires one wide. Matthews denies, picked off. Liljegren has a shot. Anyways, I'm up here again. Why am I up here? Don't go up there. So, Stamkos has a blast that's held. The Leafs clear on a face-off win. The Bolts set up. They cycle. Stamkos hits the post. Then there's a near miss for Killorn, who was all around the puck. He doesn't end up getting a goal tonight. Giordano clears. That power play's killed off one shot that hit the net. And the Bolts press after it ends. But after 2 periods, the score is 1-0. The thing is, the shots favor Tampa and the shot attempts favor Tampa. So they're not getting the accuracy they would want, and the Leafs are doing a good job of blocking and making sure they're shooting from not optimal spots to get those shots. So we're going to the third period. Sergachev has a shot that's blocked. Cole had a chance to deflect out. Bogosian has a shot that saved. Early edge for the Bolts in this. They press at a minute and a half. The Leafs were running around, and eventually it hurts them. Stamkos scores from Radish and Cirelli at 4 minutes and 11 seconds. He buries that rebound from the slot, and then Tampa Bay looks for the lead. They've got the energy, the crowd's behind them, and it feels like, oh, we're going to 7 in Toronto, aren't we? Maroon has a shot that's blocked. The Leafs clear. Matthews is denied on a rebound from the slot. Camp then has a chance to deflect out. Perbix with a shot through a screen that was held. The shots are 7-3 for Tampa at 8.5 minutes. Point then has a shot that's blocked. The Leafs clear. There's a near miss for Matthews. Points denied in close. Samsonov holds that one. Sloppy passes by Toronto at this point in the game, at the absolute worst possible moments, right? Kerfoot has a shot that's blocked, and then there's a rush by Tampa. Paul had a shot that was blocked. It's cleared. Shots are 11-4 for Tampa Bay with 5 minutes left. And it looks like, according to the shot clock, there wasn't anything else that ended up hitting the net. So Bolts are doing a good job of blocking the middle of the ice. They're not giving Toronto any really good looks at the net. Stamkos blocks a Matthews shot. It went off the inside of his ankle. That had to hurt. Fans call one in the final minute. The referee doesn't. It was a high stick on Hagel. Should it have been called? Yeah, probably. Initially, I thought, well, was it on a follow-through? And the answer is no. And Hagel just, the verbal berating he gave the officials. So we're going to overtime. There's no power play for the Tampa Bay Lightning, which there could have been. Early icing by the Toronto Maple Leafs in overtime. Icing is noteworthy in overtime because Tampa Bay was controlling the face-off circle in this one for the most part. So the Leafs press on the following face-off. They're kept to the outside. Perbix has a shot that's blocked as the Bolts press. Liljegren then fires one high on a rush. Asimont has a shot that's saved. Things get pushy on a hold by Samsonov. Cole fires one wide on a face-off win. Brody has a net feed that was blocked. The Bolts press at 3 minutes. The Leafs still turnover issues. However, there's a little press that goes on for Toronto, and one goes in off Radish's skate in front of the net. It is a goal. Tavares from Nyes and Riley at 4:35. So when I saw it in real time, I thought, oh, I hope that didn't go in off a Leaf skate. I hope it's not going to be a kick because, man, that'd be a gut punch. But no, Tavares gets your game winner. They win this one 2-1. This is the first round won by this generation of Toronto Maple Leafs. They win the series 4-2. Kyle Dubas over the moon with the win. And it all worked out. Everything they wanted to do works out. They win all 3 games in Tampa, which says a lot for Toronto's road game right now, which if they end up playing Boston, they're going to need that again, right? Games 1 and 2 would be in Boston. However, if Florida completes the comeback, Toronto has home ice against the Florida Panthers. So your 3 stars in this one are Tavares, Samsonov, and Vasilevsky. Shots on net, 10-7 Tampa Bay in the first, 10 apiece in the second, and 11-4 Tampa in the third. Both teams had 1 shot in the overtime. Toronto's the one that matters. Final shots, 32-22 for Tampa, who played really well. Couldn't beat Samsonov. Power plays, both teams 0 for 2. The hits, 42-41 for Toronto. They held their own physically. Samsonov saves 31 out of 32. Vasilevsky saves 20 out of 22. And if we look at this series, it starts with a 7-3 road win by the Tampa Bay Lightning. It's followed by a 7-2 win for Toronto. That game was huge. And then Toronto wins a couple on the road, both of them in overtime. 4-3 in Game 3, 5-4 in Game 4. And then Toronto loses at home against Tampa Bay 4-2 in Game 5. And tonight, again, in overtime, they win 2-1. So Toronto with the victory. Congratulations to the Toronto Maple Leafs, Kyle Dubas, Sheldon Keefe, and of course, Steve Dangle. This man has gone through a lot over the last forever with the Toronto Maple Leafs. So I'm glad to see his team finally get past the first round, and maybe his next book will be "This Team is Saving My Life." Anyways, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.